ClaudeCode is amazing. I use it for 1 week now, and it's so much fun using it. I want to share my knowledge with you, and for this I created this presentation we go through now, and I show you how to use it, how to install, and some examples live in ClaudeCode. Here's a quick agenda. We started already with the introduction, and I will go on with the plans and pricing, and then with the rest of it. So let's move to the pricing, and yes, you can see here we have 3 plans, or we maybe have some more, but these are the basic ones. So you have a free plan you can use for Claude Desktop, but here is ClaudeCode not included. So you can use the desktop app, as I can show you here right now, which is basically like ChatGPT. You have your chat interface, you can do research, just normal prompts, and ask Claude anything. You can choose between some models. In the free version you only have Claude Sonnet 4, but with the Pro plan you also have included Claude Opus 4, which is the most powerful model of Anthropic, and it's really good. You can also do some adjustments here, like extended syncing, connect your other stuff like Google Drive, search your calendars, and also add your own integrations here. What else you can do is change the style, so you can switch between these and also create your own styles to get proper answers to your questions. Yeah, for sure you can also add files at GitHub and create also projects, as well as you can connect applications here we already saw. Back to the pricing overview, you need at least the Pro version for ClaudeCode. This is since last week included. So before you had to have the max plan for $100. So it's pretty cool that they now allow us to use it with the Pro plan. You have some limited usage, but as I said, I used it a week now and just used the Pro plan, and I'm very happy with it. Maybe I switch to the max in the coming weeks if I do much more development, but it's totally fine to get started with this, and you can do a lot. It resets every 5 hours your usage limits, and that's totally fine for a normal sized project like the task list advance of me and the local AI package as well. So now let's go over to the key capabilities, which is the code Q&A. So they mention in their introduction that it is very good for onboarding. So you use Claude Code to get knowledge about your code base. So you ask it what's in the code base, what this is about, do an onboarding document, and you can very fast do an onboarding of a new code base and get started with it. You can also explore the Git history, as it can connect directly to your Git and execute bash commands. You can tell it to get the latest commits and work with that, give you a summary, and so on. We will see this later. ClaudeCode is directly in your terminal, so you don't have a IDE around it, so you can use it everywhere. So you just start it in the IDE you want. So we can do this right now, and I show you how I open it. So if we go to my task list advanced folder, I have it open here. I'm on Windows, and I just type cmd here to open my command line. And then I want to use Windsurf. You can also use your preferred IDE, just Visual Code or whatever. But I use Windsurf here to Windsurf dot, and it opens. Oh, I misclicked. Windsurf dot. And now it opens your current directory. So we now have opened the task list advance in Windsurf. And now we can quickly go back to the presentation. I show you how to install it and use it. So as you can see here, I linked here the official documentation. You can click it and open it to get to the website. There are a lot of information how to install it, especially if you are on Windows, go to Get Started and read carefully how to use it on Windows, because you need WSL to use it. You cannot run it natively on Windows directly. That's not working. So you need to make sure you run it in WSL, and also your Node.js is installed in WSL and not natively on Windows. I had some issues with this, but if you have some issues, take a look at this website, at this guide here. And also you can just paste your errors to Claude Code desktop as we've seen before and ask it for help, and you get it fixed pretty soon. So back to the get starting presentation, you do the installation in your WSL terminal or directly on Linux, Mac, whatever. And then you can start in the next step Claude with just putting in the command in your terminal. So I will show you this in Windsurf as said, and I just go here. If you don't have the terminal already open, you go here on top to new terminal. And then here on the plus, I open Ubuntu WSL. And now I'm in my WSL environment and I can use Claude here now. So you type Claude. And now you are in Claude and can use it. The next thing you have to do is to log in into your account. I'm already logged in, but we can quickly do log out here and I can show you the full process. So let's start Claude again. You get this welcome screen with some configurations you can make. You can switch the themes here as you like. I stay with the dark mode. And then you have to choose your login method. In this case, you have two options. You can go with the subscriptions, as I already said, which makes sense because it's much cheaper than using the API, because you have so much usage limits, and yeah, it's not worth using the API. You can easily spend $50 to $100 a day with the API when using it the whole day, compared to the plans you just pay. For the biggest plan, you can use $200 and you get 20x of the usage of the Pro plan, I guess. And that's pretty much. So you can run very big projects with it and work the whole day. Okay, as said, I'm on the Pro plan, so I use method 1 to connect my account. Then you have to sign in with the browser. So you can just click this link here, open it in your browser. Then you get this screen. I think you have to log in first. If you're not logged in, I'm already logged in, and you click authorize. Then you get this code. You have to paste in your Claude prompt here, paste it, and done. So we are now connected. Get some information here, and we click enter, and now we are in. If we go back to our presentation, then you can see two more commands. The one is config. You can just type /config, and then you can do some configurations here. You may like to change auto compact to-do list. So it always use a to-do list for managing the task, verbose output, which you can also toggle with Control R, and some other stuff you can choose here. One quick thing here, the model you could theoretically also change, but in the Pro plan you only have Claude Sonnet 4 available. If you go to the Max plan, you also have Claude Opus 4 available, but it has much lower usage because yeah, it's very expensive. But you have the possibility to switch for more advanced tasks then. Yeah, the second command we see here in the presentation is the install GitHub. So as you can see here, you can set up GitHub actions here as well. But you can also take a look at all commands available, just typing / and yeah, you see all commands. And the first thing you normally do when you start a new project or open an existing project, you do /init. This will create the claude.md, which is a markdown file containing all informations about the code base, so Claude can use it to have a proper context. So We just can run it right now. I already did it, but doesn't matter. We can just run it again. And as you can see, it's now doing its thing, creating the CloudMD file or updating it. In my case, it's reading it. And yeah, it says it's already there, everything in. And we can take a look here at the Claude Code file. And there is a comprehensive list of features and code documentation Claude can use. You can also extend it yourself with stuff you think Claude needs to know for the implementation, so special commands and so on. You can just put everything in. Okay, going to the next slide in our presentation, we have here the key combos for common tasks. So I already said Control R to do the reverse output, but you can also use Shift Tab for auto accept edits. I can show this quickly and switch to the planning mode as well. So if you are here in your Claude Code instance and press Shift Tab, you see here on the bottom auto accept edits. So you don't have to approve everything and it just goes on doing its thing. If you press it again, Control Shift, you are under plan mode. So it does not implement anything, so you can just use it for planning tasks, asking it stuff, and doing concept stuff. So pretty cool. As you know from other IDEs, you can use add to reference some files or folders here, working as we know from others. You can use the hashtag to create some memories. So it will add it to the context, and so it knows about this in the future as well. I think it will add it to the CloudMD file. The next thing is the exclamation mark. So you can do bash mode, and then you can just type any bash command, git status here, for example, and it does directly execute it, and it can use this output then as well in the context, and you can go on and use this. So also very helpful. If you want to see the history, you can double press escape, and then you get here the conversation history. You can go back in time and execute it again, for example. Okay, going to the next slide, we have the context management. You have multiple possibilities for the context management. And if we go back to Claude Code, I can show it to you here. So if we do slash and then go down to slash memory and use this or type it in directly, you can see here 3 different files. So we have the project memory, which I already showed. We created it with the slash init command. So this documentation about the code base here. So this file normally is within the package or the repository, and you also check it in your Git. So everyone can use it. So your whole team or all developers working with this project. Then you get a project local memory. As you can see here, this is this one, the second option. And as you also can see, it's git ignored. So that's just locally on your system, and it will not pushed to your repository. So you can personal preferences put in there, which are just for you and your working style. And you also have the user memory, which is saved in your home directory. And yeah, it's just for you at all. And I think it's used for all projects you use within Claude. So you can put in global coding style, preferences, whatever you want to use, and yeah, how you want to use Claude. The next slide are the advanced features. So as you can see here, there's also a Claude Code SDK available. You can use in your CI/CD pipelines if you like. I don't show this here anymore. I did not test this out, but definitely something to check out in the future. It's very interesting. But here the Unix style piping is something I want to show you. So we used the git status before within Claude Code. But if we use this command now, go back to our terminal. I'm not in Claude right now, but I just can paste this here. So we do a git status and pipe it to Claude. We execute it, and it will now do the git status command, send it to Claude with the prompt explain this, and it gives us an explanation of the output of git status. Also a pretty cool feature you can use directly in your terminal for all different kind of stuff. Another cool feature is that you also can paste images into your terminal. As you may know from other IDEs, it's possible everywhere, but you maybe think that's not possible in Claude Code because it's just in a terminal, but actually it is. So if you go here to Claude Code and just drag and drop here an image, it adds the path here to the image, and we can use this directly here and ask about the image. What's in the image? So as you can see, it parsed the image and it gives us the answer. It's a blue check square icon, which is true. It's the fav icon. The last thing on this slide is the parallel sessions. So you can open as much sessions as you want. So you can open 10 terminals, open Claude there, and do 10 projects in parallel. For example, you use GitHub issues and just clone your projects more often, or use Git work trees. And yeah, you develop these features in parallel and just orchestrate your work. On the next slide, we see some real-world use cases they mentioned in the official video, which is the onboarding time. They named the example in their own company, Anthropic, that they reduced the onboarding time for the code base from 3 to 3 weeks to 3 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days. So that's pretty impressive. So you can get onboarded very fast. Yeah, you can also use it for mock to implementation. So you put in your mockups and convert your designs directly to code. You can automate PR creations, so directly push your stuff from Claude Code. So you go back to Claude Code, you can just type commit and push, and it will know what to do. So it will create the git commit with a proper message. It will create a new branch if you want. It will create the PR if you want. You can just tell it, and the model knows it. So you don't have to use any other tools, Git connections or whatever. So the model itself knows how to do this. And the last thing on this slide, the code exploration, which we also had in the beginning, where I said you can use it for Q&A about your code base. So you can just ask it everything, use the Git history to get the history of your project and get it explained what happened in the last week, or just ask it what changes I did last week, or what did I commit last week. We can quickly do this for the task list advance. So I paste here what were my commits last week. So as you can see, it now gets our commits and it gives me the bash command, asks me if I want to proceed. Yes, I want. That's fine. And as we can see now, we got a full list of my commits, what I changed in this project. Coming to the next slide, we have the best practices. I will skip this because we talked about all the stuff already. And we go to the last slide. And after this, we want to do a quick example or implement a new feature for the task list advance, so you can see it in action. So the last slide is why terminal instead of IDE. This was a question in the original video from the audience, and yeah, they answered it with these points, which is it works seamlessly with every IDE. So they have a lot of developers in the Anthropic company with different flavors. Everyone works with different stuff, VS Code, Windsurf, or whatever they use, Emacs, and all can use Claude Code without any problems and integrate it in their development environment. So it's also very future-proof because you can integrate it in everything and also use it directly in the terminal and with pipe commands. So Also, the developer consistency is a big point. So it's identical for all developers in your team. Doesn't matter which IDE they use. And you can share the context as we saw before, the memory I showed with the Claude MD file, which is also pushed to their repository. And you can also use global standards for your enterprise and roll this out for every developer. Another thing here is the zero configuration. So there is no indexing, no complex setup process. It just works out of the box without any plugins. And the last one is the terminal efficiency. Every developer normally knows how to work with the terminal, so nothing new to learn, and they can directly start with using it. Okay, as already promised, we want to do implementation example now for the task list advanced. In this case, I want to implement a highlighting. So if I click here on item, for example, the Python requirement, I click here in the empty space, I want it to get highlighted. So yeah, a yellow background. So I can use it in my videos to highlight the current step we are in. I prepared here a screenshot showing this. And this is also the screenshot I will use in ClaudeCode to tell it what I want. So let's do this. So back in Windsurf with ClaudeCode opened, I will start with clear/clear to get a clean state. And then I drag and drop my image here with my requirement, and we give it some information. Sorry, with Shift Tab, and let it do its thing. Okay, it's done now with planning, and as we can see, it did a plan for implementing the tasks, listed every task here and what to do. And yeah, you can review this, tell it to change something if needed. And yeah, we will tell it to implement this now. We switch with Shift Tab to the auto accept edits on mode and let it implement it. While this is implementing, maybe also a quick hint why I use Windsurf or other AI IDEs. That's simple because you can use the integration of Windsurf or Windsurf itself to chat about your codebase as well without wasting Claude Sonnet tokens. So if you are under Pro Plan and don't have that much usage, it's also a cool thing. You have just the free models here from Windsurf, and you can ask stuff directly here in the terminal while ClaudeCode is running. And yeah, you can use this additionally and yeah, work together with everything. Another more advanced topic is you can build your own Claude Flash commands. You can see here on top, there's a .claude folder. And within this, you get the settings local JSON with all the settings for your allowed tools and so on, which you can also get here in the terminal with allowed tools or /permissions. And you can take a look at allowed tools, which you can see here. It's not showing here because it has to finish the other task first, but you can see it here as well. And within this folder, you could create additional files and use these as system or project prompts to give context to your implementation. I did not try this out myself, but I want to mention it, and maybe I can show it in the future if it is interesting for you. There was also a pretty good workshop in the Dynamis community from Rasmus about it. So check out the Dynamis community if you want to go deeper into the AI world and learn all that stuff and get cool workshops. Okay, it now finished implementing, and we have to approve a task. Or was it was just grabbing some stuff to go on with the implementation. Okay. And you can also see here the tokens we used so far, 4.5. 2K tokens in this session. So not at all, just in this session we started today or before. Okay, now it's done implementing. As you can see, it will also test. So it asks us to run npm run dev. So it can get directly the output from the console and see if everything is working properly. And if not, it can directly fix it itself. Okay, it did now some tests as well and now finished all tasks. So it says it's done. And yeah, I will directly push this now and we test it directly on my deployment. So I have automatic deployment. So as soon as it get pushed to the main branch, Netlify deploys it to my test domain. So let's do commit and push to main. So as you can see, it gets the status, get all diffs, and it will now write a proper commit message and then push everything to main. And we can now see the message it created with all the stuff it changed. And yeah, that's fine for me. And we approve. And we can now go to the task list advanced repository and see if our changes are there. Let's refresh, go to the main branch. And as we can see, it just committed our changes, everything there with our commit message. Go back to Claude and yeah, it's done. So this is fine. So we can now wait for the Netlify deployment and check if it looks good, if it is working or not. So I already have opened it here. So this is my Netlify deployment for the main branch. So I do a refresh and see, yeah, it's working. So it's deployed. So we can click here the single rows and it highlights it. So this works perfect. So I even did not do any iteration, so it was just the one planning phase, implementation, commit and push. So no iteration needed. It did everything itself. So it's pretty impressive. So it's so much fun working with this, developing new features. And yeah, I also implemented this weekend, the last weekend, the deep linking feature also with Claude. So if we go now to a task list, you now have a full URL for every task list. So I can link directly to the lists instead of provide just the link to the main application in my videos, and you have to search for it on your own. There's also some new features for saving the list and in the admin tool as well. You don't see this, but you can now import stuff here as well if you set it up yourself. And this was implemented by Jerry. So thank you very much for the contribution. Very nice features. And yeah, it's the first guy who ever contributed to my project. So yeah, I really appreciate it. It's a nice feeling someone also helps me building new stuff for my started projects. That's everything I wanted to show you. I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos about Claude Code. If you use it, what do you think about Claude Code? And see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.